The Lycan King rejected his fated mate. Then his enemy claimed her. Doors burst open. The sound tears through the throne hall like a blade. Conversations die mid-breath. Every noble, every warrior, every servant turns at once. A darker presence steps inside. Not a pack alpha. Not a challenger seeking permission. A Lycan. And worse. An enemy king. Darius. Before the story continues, take a second to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy stories like this. More werewolf drama and powerful alpha stories are coming soon. He walks forward without haste. Each step lands with quiet authority. No armor clinks. No guards announce him. He does not need introduction. The air tightens around him. Even the torches seem to dim as he passes. At the center of the hall stands Elara. Still. Shaking. Her world had ended moments ago. Before the entire court. The Lycan King rejected her. Kale. Her fated mate. Her king. Turned his back on her like she was nothing. The bond had snapped. She felt it. Like something inside her chest had been ripped out and left bleeding. And now, something worse was happening. Darius stops in front of her. Close enough to feel her breath. Close enough to see the tears she is trying not to let fall. He studies her. Not with pity. Not with cruelty. With interest. With intent. The hall holds its breath. Then he lifts his hand. Gasps ripple instantly. No one dares step forward. No one dares interfere. Because this is no ordinary move. This is a declaration. His fingers tilt her chin upward. Slow, controlled. Elara's lips part slightly. Her breath catches. She should step back. She should resist. But her body does not respond. Because the moment he touches her, something shifts. Deep, primal. His eyes ignite. Amber light burns through the hall. Ancient, dominant. Lycan power. Elara gasps sharply. Her neck burns. A sudden, searing heat spreads beneath her skin. She grabs at her throat instinctively. Too late. The mark forms. Bright, fierce, impossible to deny. A mating mark. Claimed. By another Lycan King. The entire hall freezes. Shock spreads like wildfire. This should not happen. Not after rejection. Not in front of a court. Not between rival kings. But it did. And now, everything has changed. Silence crushes the room. Then, slowly, all eyes turn to the throne. To Kale. The Lycan King. For the first time, his expression cracks. His silver eyes lock onto the mark glowing on Elara's neck. And something dark flickers there. Not rage. Not yet. Fear. Real, sharp, immediate. He rises. The movement alone sends pressure across the hall. Power rolls from him in waves. Ancient, commanding, absolute. This is the true ruler of the kingdom. The Lycan King. And yet, he is no longer the only king in the room. Release her. His voice is low, controlled, dangerous. Darius does not move. He does not even look at him. Instead, he speaks to Elara. Soft, steady. You feel it. Not a question. A statement. Elara's breathing is uneven. Her fingers tremble against the fresh mark. It burns. But not like pain. Like something alive. I don't understand, she whispers. Darius lifts his gaze. Finally meeting Kael's eyes. The tension sharpens instantly. Silver against amber. King against king. You rejected her. His voice stays calm. That makes it worse. You broke your bond. A step closer. So I claimed what you discarded. Murmurs ripple through the court. Low, uneasy. Because everyone understands what this means. This is not insult. This is challenge. Kale steps down from his throne. Each step is deliberate, heavy. The floor seems to carry his anger forward. You dare claim within my kingdom. Cold, sharp. Darius tilts his head slightly. I dare take what was abandoned. That lands harder than a strike. Kale stops. Just for a second. But it is enough. Because hesitation, even for a heartbeat, is noticed. And Darius notices everything. Elara looks between them. Her heart pounds against her ribs. Moments ago, she had a place. A future. Now she stands between two Lycan kings. One who rejected her. One who claimed her. And she does not understand either of them. Come here. Kale's voice cuts through everything. It is not loud. It does not need to be. It carries command. It always has. Elara's body reacts instantly. A step almost forms. Old instinct. Old bond. But it falters. Because that pull is broken. Weakened. And something else rises to meet it. A new pull. Stronger. Warmer. More dangerous. She glances at Darius. He does not command her. He does not force her. He simply watches. Waiting. That changes everything. Because now, the choice is hers. And that terrifies her. Her voice shakes. I don't know what to do. Honest. Raw. Kale's jaw tightens. Darius's expression does not change. You are mine, Kale says. The control in his voice is thinning. Darius steps slightly closer to Elara. Not aggressive. Just present. No. Quiet. Firm. She was. Silence crashes again. That correction cuts deeper than any blade. Kale's eyes darken. You think a mark makes you her king? Darius holds his gaze. No. A pause. I think your rejection freed her. The hall feels heavier now. Because the truth sits in the open. Unavoidable. This is no longer about mating. This is about power. About pride. About a Lycan King who made a decision. And cannot undo it. Elara steadies her breathing. Slow. Careful. She looks at Kyle. Really looks at him. At the man who turned away from her without hesitation. Pain rises again. Sharp. Then she looks at Darius. At the man who stepped forward when she was at her lowest. Who did not look away. The difference is clear. And dangerous. Because for the first time, she understands something. Her story is no longer tied to one king. And whatever she chooses next will decide the fate of both. Silence does not break. It tightens. Like a noose around every throat in the hall. No one dares move. No one dares speak. Because what stands before them is no longer a moment. It is a shift. A fracture in power. Two Lycan kings face each other. And between them, the woman who changed everything. Elara's pulse pounds in her ears. The mark on her neck still burns. Not pain. Something deeper. Alive. It pulses with heat, with presence, with a pull she does not yet understand. Her fingers hover over it again, unsure whether to touch or hide it. It feels wrong. And yet, it does not feel empty. That is what unsettles her most. Because moments ago, when Kale rejected her, she felt hollow. Now, she feels something. And she does not know if that makes it better or worse. Step away from her. Kale's voice cuts through the air again. Lower now. More dangerous. Less king. More beast. The shift is subtle. But everyone feels it. Darius does not move. He does not step back. He does not even break eye contact. You gave up that right. Calm, steady. Unshaken. That is what makes it worse. Kale descends the final step from the throne platform. Now he stands on the same level. The same ground. The distance between them shrinks. Power builds in the space between both kings. Thick, heavy, ready to snap. The court begins to shift uneasily. Some lower their heads. Some glance toward exits. Because if this turns violent, no one in this room walks away untouched. Elara feels it too. The tension. The danger. The rising storm between them. Her chest tightens. "This isn't right," she whispers. Her voice is small. But in the silence, it carries. Both kings hear it. Both turn to her. That alone says enough. She matters now. More than anyone expected. More than anyone planned. Kale steps closer. His gaze locks onto her. Sharp, intense. "You belong in this kingdom." His voice shifts. Not softer, but controlled in a different way. Measured. Like he is choosing each word carefully now. "You were chosen for a reason." Elara flinches slightly. Chosen. The word stings. Because she remembers standing here earlier. Hearing whispers. Feeling eyes on her. Knowing she was not what they expected. Not noble enough. Not strong enough. Not worthy enough. And yet, she was still his fated mate. Until she wasn't. "Chosen," she repeats quietly. Her voice carries disbelief now. A tremor of something sharper. "If I was chosen, why did you reject me?" The question lands clean. Direct. No fear behind it this time. The entire court leans into the silence that follows. Kale does not answer immediately. For the first time, he hesitates. And that hesitation spreads through the room like fire. Because a Lycan King does not hesitate. Darius notices. Of course he does. His gaze sharpens slightly. He does not interrupt. He lets the silence stretch. Lets it expose the crack. Kale's jaw tightens. "I made a decision for the stability of this kingdom." His tone hardens again. Returns to control. To protect it. Elara's chest tightens. "From me?" The words come out before she stops them. Soft. But sharp enough to cut. Kale's eyes flicker. Just slightly. That is answer enough. Something inside her settles. Not peace. Understanding. Cold and clear. She was never rejected because she was nothing. She was rejected because she was a risk. And he chose power over her. Darius speaks then. "You see it now." Not mocking. Not cruel. Just certain. Elara does not respond. She does not need to. Her silence says enough. Kale steps forward again. Too close now. The pressure of his presence presses against her skin. "You don't understand what you are stepping into," he says. His voice drops lower. More personal. More dangerous. That mark ties you to him. To his enemies. To his wars. Darius lets out a quiet breath. Almost a laugh. Everything ties her to war now. He glances around the hall. At the nobles. At the warriors. At the watching eyes filled with calculation. "You made sure of that." The truth lands again. Heavy. Unavoidable. The court begins to divide. Not openly. Not yet. But it shows in small ways. In where people look. In who they stand closer to. In who they avoid. Power is shifting. And everyone feels it. Elara notices too. She sees the way some avoid her gaze. The way others stare longer now. Not with pity. But with interest. With calculation. She is no longer invisible. She is a piece on the board. And she hates it. "I never asked for any of this," she says. Her voice steadies now. Stronger. "I didn't ask to be chosen. I didn't ask to be rejected. And I didn't ask to be claimed." Silence answers her again. Because she is right. Darius studies her for a moment. Then speaks. "I know." Simple. Direct. No defense. No excuse. That catches her off guard. Kale's expression hardens further. You speak as if she had a choice. Darius turns to him slowly. She does now. That changes everything. Because those words echo through the hall. Through every noble. Every guard. Every witness. Choice. A concept, rarely given. Especially in a world ruled by strength. Kale's eyes narrow. You think this is freedom? His voice sharpens. It is chaos. Darius steps forward slightly. Matching his presence. It is consequence. The tension spikes again. Closer now. Sharper. One wrong move. And the hall becomes a battlefield. Elara feels it reaching that point. The breaking edge. Her breathing quickens. Stop. Her voice cuts in. Not loud. But urgent. Both kings pause. Just enough. She steps back slightly. Creating space. For herself. For clarity. I won't stand here while you fight over me like I'm nothing, she says. Stronger now. Clear. If I matter, then listen. The words hang in the air. Because no one speaks to a Lycan King like that. No one. And yet, neither of them silences her. That alone shows how much has changed. Her hands tremble slightly. But her voice does not break. I don't understand this bond, she continues. She glances at Darius briefly. Then back at Kale. But I understand what you did. Her gaze holds his. You chose your kingdom over me. A pause. I won't beg to be chosen again. That lands deeper than any challenge. Kale's chest rises slowly. Control strains beneath the surface. Darius watches her now with something new in his eyes. Respect. Not possession. Not yet. Respect. The court feels it too. The shift. She is no longer just the rejected mate. She is becoming something else. Something neither king fully controls. And that is far more dangerous. Elara steadies herself. Her next words come slower. Measured. I need time. Simple. Clear. I need to understand what this means, before anyone decides anything for me. Silence answers her again. But this time, it is different. Not tense. Not waiting for violence. Waiting for a decision. Kale speaks first. No. Immediate. Sharp. Control snapping back into place. You don't leave this hall bound to him. Darius does not react, but the air shifts again. Colder now. You don't decide that anymore. Quiet. Final. Kale's eyes flash. And you think you do? Darius's voice stays steady. No. A pause. She does. Again. That word. Choice. It echoes stronger this time. Because now, it is no longer theory. It is reality. Elara feels it settle inside her. Heavy. Real. Terrifying. But also clear. For the first time since everything began. She is not reacting. She is deciding. And that changes everything. She takes a slow breath. Then another. And lifts her chin slightly. I'm leaving. The words land quietly. But they hit harder than anything else spoken tonight. Shock ripples instantly. Kale steps forward. You will not. She cuts him off. Not loudly. But firmly. I will. The interruption alone stuns the room. Her voice does not shake now. I won't stay here as a symbol, or a mistake, or a weapon. Her gaze flicks to Darius briefly. Then back to Kale. I need space. Silence stretches again. Heavy. Final. Kale's expression hardens. Control returns, but colder now. More distant. If you walk out of this hall, he says slowly, you don't walk back in the same. Elara holds his gaze. I already don't belong here the same. That ends it. The truth stands between them. Unavoidable. Darius steps aside. Not leading. Not pulling her. Making space. For her to choose. Elara hesitates for a fraction of a second. Then moves. One step. Then another. Past him. Toward the open doors. The entire court watches. No one stops her. No one dares. Because this moment will be remembered. The rejected mate. Walking away from a Lycan King. And as she crosses the threshold, the mark on her neck pulses once more. Brighter. Stronger. A signal. A warning. Or a promise. Behind her, 2 kings remain. And neither of them will forget what just happened. Because this is no longer a private conflict. It is the beginning of something larger. Something darker. Something that will shake every pack. Every alliance. Every throne. And at the center of it all is the woman who refused to be claimed. The doors close behind her. The sound echoes louder than anything that happened inside the hall. Elara does not look back. She keeps walking. Step after step. Down the long stone corridor. Her breathing is uneven. Her chest tight. But she does not stop. Because if she stops, she might turn around. And she refuses to do that. Not after everything. The mark on her neck pulses again. A slow burn under her skin. She presses her fingers against it. It responds instantly. Heat. Alive. Connected. Her breath catches. That's not normal, she whispers. No one answers. But the silence feels different now. Like she is not alone. Behind her. The throne hall has not moved on. It has fractured. Kale stands still at the center of it. Every eye is on him. Waiting. Watching. Measuring his next move. His jaw tightens. His silver eyes darken. The fear is gone now. Replaced by something colder. Control. But beneath it, rage is building. You will all leave, he says. Low. Final. No one questions it. The court begins to empty quickly. Nobles move first. Then guards. Then servants. No one wants to remain when 2 Lycan kings stand in the same space. Within moments, only 2 remain. Kale. And Darius. Silence stretches between them again. Different now. No audience. No restraint. Just power. You planned this. Kale's voice is quiet. Controlled. Darius does not deny it. I expected weakness. Direct. Honest. Kale's eyes narrow. You walked into my kingdom. A step forward. You marked what was mine. Darius meets his gaze. You threw her away. The words land heavy. Kale's control slips for a fraction of a second. Power surges outward. The torches flicker violently. The air thickens. You think this is over. Darius does not move. No. A pause. I think it just started. That is enough. The tension snaps. Kale moves first. Fast. Too fast for any human eye. But Darius is not human. He meets him head on. The impact cracks through the hall like thunder. Stone beneath their feet fractures. Power collides. Raw, ancient, violent. Kale strikes again. Precision, force. Darius blocks, counters. Neither holds back. Because this is not a fight for dominance alone. This is personal now. A clash of kings. Outside. Elara stops. Her body stiffens suddenly. A sharp pulse shoots through her neck. Stronger than before. She gasps. What is that? The bond reacts. She feels it. Violence. Anger. Clashing power. Her eyes widen. They're fighting. She does not see it. But she feels it clearly. Every strike. Every surge. It echoes through the mark. Her chest tightens. Not fear. Something else. Connection. Unwanted. Confusing. She takes a step back toward the doors. Then stops. No. Her voice steadies. I'm not going back. She turns away again, forcing herself forward. Each step feels heavier now, because part of her feels pulled back. But she keeps walking. Out of the castle. Into the open night. Cold air hits her face. Sharp. Real. It helps. Grounds her. For a moment. Then the pull returns. Stronger. She grips her arm tightly. I need to get away. She looks toward the forest beyond the kingdom walls. Dark. Quiet. Unknown. Perfect. Inside the hall. The fight escalates. Kale drives Darius back. Force, speed, authority. You don't belong here. Darius recovers instantly. And yet I'm still standing. He counters hard. The blow sends Kale back a step. The ground cracks again. Both pause. Just for a second. Breathing steady. Eyes locked. Equal. That is the problem. Neither is stronger. Neither yields. Kale's voice drops lower. You marked her without knowing what she is. Darius watches him closely. I know enough. Kale shakes his head slightly. No. A pause. You don't. Something shifts in the air. Subtle. But real. Darius notices. What are you hiding? Kale does not answer immediately. That alone is enough. Because a Lycan King does not hide weakness. Unless it is not weakness. Unless it is something worse. She is not just a mate, Kale says finally. Quiet. Controlled. Darius' gaze sharpens. Then what is she? Kale's eyes darken slightly. Something this kingdom cannot afford. That lands heavy. Darius studies him. You rejected her to protect your throne. Kale does not deny it. Darius's expression shifts slightly. Not doubt. Interest. That makes her more valuable than I thought. Kale's power spikes again. Stay away from her. Darius steps forward once more. No. Simple. Final. Then you'll start a war. Darius holds his gaze. Yes. No hesitation. No fear. Just certainty. Because for him, this is no longer about territory. It is about something else now. Something he felt the moment he touched her. Something rare. Something dangerous. And he will not walk away from it. Outside the kingdom, Elara reaches the edge of the forest. The trees loom tall. Shadows stretch deep between them. The world feels quieter here. But not safe. Never safe. She steps forward anyway. Into the darkness. Because staying is no longer an option. Behind her, the kingdom stands. Unchanged on the surface. But inside, everything is shifting. Two Lycan Kings now move toward the same path. And both of them are coming for her. The forest swallows her whole. Dark branches stretch overhead. Shadows press in from every side. The night feels thicker here. Heavier. Elara keeps moving. Dry leaves crunch under her feet. Twigs snap softly behind her. Each sound feels louder than it should. Her breath steadies. Slowly. Carefully. But the mark on her neck does not calm. It pulses again. Stronger this time. A sharp wave of heat spreads through her chest. She stops. Her hand flies to her neck. Pain hits. Not surface pain. Deep. Like something inside her is waking up. What is happening to me? Her voice is low, strained. The forest does not answer. But something else does. A flicker. Not sound, not sight. A feeling. Like a second heartbeat. Not hers. Her breath catches. The bond. It is not quiet anymore. It is active. Alive. And it is reaching. Back at the castle. The throne hall stands in ruin. Cracked stone, broken pillars, Scorch marks across the walls. The fight has ended. But not because either king won. Because both chose to stop. For now, Kael stands near the shattered throne. Still. Controlled. But the damage around him tells the truth. This is far from over. Darius stands opposite him. Unmoved. Unbroken. His breathing steady. His gaze sharp. She left. Darius says it calmly. Kael's jaw tightens. I know. Silence follows. Heavy again. But now, there is distance between them. Not just space. Strategy. Darius turns slightly toward the exit. I will find her. Simple, direct. Kael's voice cuts in. No. Not loud. But final. Darius stops. Looks back over his shoulder. You don't control that anymore. Kael steps forward. Power builds again. Not explosive. Focused. You think this is about control? His eyes narrow. This is about survival. Darius studies him. Carefully now. Because there is something different in Kael's tone. Not pride. Not ego. Something colder. Something calculated. You keep saying that, Darius says. What is she? Kael does not answer immediately. The silence stretches. Then. Leave my kingdom. A shift. Avoidance. Darius notices. Of course he does. That's not an answer. Kael's gaze hardens. It's the only one you'll get. For a moment. Neither moves. Neither speaks. Then Darius nods once. Not agreement. Acknowledgement. This won't end here. Kael meets his gaze. It already started. Darius turns and walks out. No rush. No hesitation. But now, there is purpose in his steps. Because this is no longer about proving a point. It is about finding her. And understanding what she is. Back in the forest. Elara drops to one knee. The pain spikes again. Sharper. Her breath comes fast now. Her vision blurs slightly. The mark burns like fire. But the heat spreads further this time. Down her spine. Through her chest. Into her arms. She grips the ground. What is this? The forest reacts. Subtly. The wind shifts. Leaves rustle without cause. The air thickens. Something is responding to her. She does not see it yet. But it is there. Watching. Waiting. The ground beneath her hand warms. Her eyes widen. No. That is not normal. She pulls her hand back quickly. But the warmth remains. A faint glow flickers under the soil. Then disappears. Her breathing stops for a second. Fear creeps in. Not of the forest. Of herself. I need to keep moving. She pushes herself up. Forces her legs to steady. One step. Then another. But now, the forest does not feel empty anymore. It feels aware. And that changes everything. Far from her. Darius reaches the edge of the kingdom. He does not slow down. His senses stretch outward. Tracking. Searching. The bond guides him. Faint. But present. He feels her. Alive. Moving. But something else rides through that connection. Something unfamiliar. Something powerful. His expression tightens slightly. That's not normal. He changes direction instantly. Into the forest. Meanwhile, Kael stands alone in the ruined hall. The silence presses in. Heavy. But his mind moves fast. Faster than before. Because now, he no longer has the luxury of distance. He walks toward the broken edge of the throne platform. Stops. Looks down at the cracked stone. His voice is low. She's already changing. Not fear. Recognition. Then, he turns sharply. Calls out. Send the hunters. The command echoes instantly through the corridors beyond. No hesitation. No delay. They find her first. A pause. His eyes darken. And no one touches her, without my order. Because despite everything, despite the rejection, despite the bond breaking, one truth remains. He knows what she is becoming. And he knows what happens if the wrong hands reach her first. Back in the forest, Elara stumbles again. This time. Not from pain. From something pulling her attention. A sound. Soft. Behind her. She turns quickly. Nothing. Just trees. Shadows. Silence. Her heart races. I'm not alone. She backs up slightly. Slow, careful. The air shifts again. Then, a pair of eyes opens in the darkness. Low. Watching. Glowing faintly. Not human. Not Lycan. Something else. Elara freezes. Her breath stops. More eyes appear. 1, 2, 5. Surrounding her. The forest is no longer quiet. It is alive. And it has been watching her from the moment she stepped inside. Her fingers curl slightly. Instinct rising. Fear. But also something else. The mark pulses again. This time. The creatures react. They shift. Lower. Not attacking. Not retreating. Waiting. Elara's voice barely forms. What do you want? Silence answers. But the tension builds. Because this moment is not random. It is recognition. And far away, 2 Lycan Kings move through the same forest. Both closing in. Both drawn to the same point. Because whatever she is, it is no longer hidden. The eyes do not blink. They watch her. Still, silent. Waiting. Elara's breath slows despite the fear. Because something feels wrong. Not danger. Not yet. Recognition. The mark on her neck pulses again. Stronger. The heat spreads through her chest and down her arms. This time she does not fight it. She stands still. And the forest responds. The creatures step forward. Slowly. Out of the shadows. Their forms become clear. Wolves. But not like the Lycans. Smaller, leaner. Their eyes glow faint gold. Their movements are quiet. Natural. Wild. Not bound to any king. Not bound to any throne. Elara swallows. Her voice comes out softer now. You're not here to attack. One of them steps closer. Larger than the others. Its gaze locks onto hers. Steady. Unafraid. The others lower slightly behind it. Not submission. Recognition. Her chest tightens again. What? Are you? No answer. But the air shifts. The wolf steps closer. Closer. Until it stands within reach. Elara does not move. Her hand lifts slowly. Carefully. The moment her fingers touch its fur. The mark ignites. A surge of energy rushes through her body. Her eyes widen. Her breath catches sharply. The forest reacts instantly. Wind rises. Leaves swirl. The ground trembles faintly beneath her feet. The wolves step back. Not in fear. In acknowledgement. Elara pulls her hand back quickly. What was that? Her voice shakes now. Because she felt it. Control. Connection. Not over one wolf. Over all of them. Back through the trees. Darius stops. Suddenly. His eyes sharpen. He feels it too. A pulse through the bond. Stronger than before. Different. That power. He changes direction instantly. Faster now. Focused. Meanwhile, Kael moves through the forest from the opposite side. Silent. Controlled. But his pace has increased. Because he felt it as well. And now, there is no doubt left. She's awakened. His voice is low. Certain. Back at the clearing. Elara takes a step back. Her breathing uneven again. The wolves remain still, watching her. Not threatening. Not leaving. Waiting. For what? She whispers. The large wolf lowers its head slightly. Not submission. Acknowledgement again. Her chest tightens. Understanding begins to form. Not fully. But enough. They're responding to me. The thought settles heavily. Because that should not be possible. Not for someone like her. Not for someone who was just rejected hours ago. Her fingers tremble slightly. No, that's not right. But the forest says otherwise. Because it continues to react to her presence. Every movement. Every breath. Connected. Then. A sharp sound cuts through the trees. Fast. Controlled. Not natural. Elara turns instantly. Too late. A blade flashes past her shoulder. It strikes the ground behind her. She spins. Heart racing. Figures emerge from the trees. Armored. Silent. Precise. Hunters. KL's hunters. They spread out quickly, surrounding the clearing. The wolves growl low. Tension spikes. The lead hunter steps forward. By order of the Lycan King. His voice is firm. You will come with us. Elara's chest tightens. No. The answer comes faster than she expects. Stronger. The hunters pause. Not used to resistance. Do not make this difficult, the leader says. Elara steps back slightly. The wolves shift with her. Matching her movement. Protecting. That changes the hunter's stance instantly. Weapons rise. Not fully drawn. But ready. This is your final warning. Elara's heart pounds. Fear rises again. But something else rises with it. The same energy she felt before. The same connection. The mark pulses again. Hot. Alive. She closes her eyes for a second. Then opens them. Clear. Focused. No. The word lands stronger this time. The forest reacts instantly. The wolves step forward as one. Not attacking. Positioning. The hunters hesitate. Just for a second. And that second is enough. A blur moves through the trees. Fast. Controlled. Darius. He steps into the clearing. Without effort. Without hesitation. His presence alone shifts everything. The hunters freeze. The wolves still. Elara turns toward him. Relief hits her unexpectedly. You found me. The words slip out before she can stop them. Darius's gaze softens slightly. Of course. Simple. Certain. The hunter leader steps forward again. Tension rising. You are not welcome here. Darius does not look at him. That doesn't matter. The hunter tightens his grip on his weapon. She belongs to the Lycan King. Darius finally turns. His gaze sharp. No. Quiet. Final. She doesn't. The air tightens again. Conflict builds. The wolves growl low. The hunters shift their stance. Ready. And in the middle of it all, Elara stands still. No longer shaking. No longer uncertain. Because something has changed inside her. She feels it clearly now. She is not the same girl who stood in that hall. And she will not be taken like she has no choice. The mark pulses again. This time, she does not flinch. She lets it burn. Because now, she understands something. This power. This connection. It is hers. And everyone else is starting to realize it too. The clearing holds its breath. No one moves. Not the hunters. Not the wolves. Not even the wind. Everything waits. Elara stands at the center of it all. The mark on her neck burns steadily now. Not chaotic. Controlled. Alive. Darius stands slightly in front of her. Not blocking her. Not claiming her. Standing with her. That difference matters. Across from them, Kale's hunters tighten their formation. Weapons ready. Eyes sharp. Orders clear. Take her. The leader raises his hand. A signal. Attack. They move. Fast. Precise. Deadly. Steel flashes through the air. The wolves surge forward instantly. A wall of fur and teeth. They collide. The clearing erupts. Chaos breaks loose. Elara steps back as bodies clash around her. Growls. Metal. Shouts. Everything blurs. Her chest tightens. Her pulse spikes. No. Her voice shakes again. I didn't want this. A hunter breaks through the wolves. Charging straight toward her. Blade raised. No hesitation. Elara freezes. For a split second. Then. The mark explodes with heat. Her eyes widen. Something inside her snaps into place. Not fear. Instinct. Her hand lifts without thought. The ground beneath the hunter cracks. Roots burst upward. Violent. Fast. They wrap around his legs and slam him to the ground. The blade falls from his hand. Silence hits for a fraction of a second. Everyone sees it. Everyone feels it. Elara stares at her own hand. Shaking. I did that. The forest answers. The wolves step back slightly. Not retreating. Acknowledging. Darius watches her closely. No surprise in his eyes now. Only certainty. You're not just bound to Lycans, he says. Low. Clear. You're bound to the wild itself. The words settle heavily. Because deep down, she knows it's true. Another pulse surges through her. Stronger. The ground responds again. The trees shift. The air thickens. The hunters hesitate. Fear replaces discipline. This isn't normal, one whispers. Then, the forest goes silent again. Not calm. Controlled. A new presence enters. Heavy. Dominant. Familiar. KL steps into the clearing. Everything reacts instantly. The hunters lower their heads. The wolves grow still. Even the air seems to pause. The Lycan King has arrived. Elara's breath catches. Her eyes lock onto him. For a moment. Everything else fades. The fight. The chaos. The fear. All gone. Just them. He looks at her. Not past her. Not through her. At her. And this time, there is no dismissal in his gaze. Only recognition. You've awakened. His voice is low. Not surprised. Confirmed. Elara steadies herself. You knew. It is not a question. Kale does not deny it. Yes. A pause. I suspected. Her chest tightens. That's why you rejected me. Silence answers first. Then. Yes. The truth lands clean. Heavy. Cold. But honest. Darius shifts slightly beside her. Watching Kale now with sharper focus. You threw away power you couldn't control. Kale's gaze does not leave Elara. I prevented a war I wasn't ready to fight. Darius's voice cuts in. You started one anyway. Kale finally looks at him. And you accelerated it. The tension rises again. But it is different now. Not explosive. Measured. Because now, both of them understand what stands between them. Not a mate. Not a symbol. Something far greater. Elara takes a step forward. Both kings fall silent. Her voice is steady now. Clear. No more fighting over me. The words land with authority. Not loud. But absolute. The forest hums faintly in response. She feels it. Connected. Grounded. You both made your choices, she continues. She looks at Kyle. You chose your kingdom. Then at Darius. You chose to claim me. A pause. Now I choose myself. Silence follows. But this silence feels different. Not tense. Not waiting. Accepting. The power around her settles. Not fading. Balancing. Kale studies her. Long. Careful. Then he nods once. Slow. Respect. Not possession. Not command. Respect. You are no longer bound to my throne. The words carry weight. Release. Final. Darius watches her next. His gaze softer now. Less sharp. You're still bound to me, he says. Not forceful. Just truth. Elara touches her mark. It pulses gently. Not overwhelming anymore. I know. A pause. But that doesn't mean I belong to you. Darius holds her gaze. Then. He nods. Once. Understanding. Not agreement. But acceptance. That choice will always be yours. The tension finally breaks. Not with violence. With clarity. The hunters step back. The wolves relax. The forest breathes again. Elara stands at the center of it all. Not lost. Not broken. Not claimed. Something new. Something powerful. Something free. The wind moves through the trees. Soft. Steady. As if the world itself has shifted around her. Kyle turns first. He walks away. Not defeated. But changed. Because for the first time, he chose to let go of power. Darius lingers a moment longer. Then steps back as well. Giving her space. Real space. Not distance forced by conflict. Distance chosen by respect. Elara watches both of them leave. Then turns toward the forest. Her forest. Because now, it answers to her. Not as a ruler. Not as a queen. But as something older. Something deeper. She takes a step forward. The ground warms beneath her feet. The trees shift slightly. The wolves follow at a distance. Not guarding. Not leading. Walking with her. And for the first time, she feels whole. Not because someone chose her. Not because someone claimed her. But because she chose herself. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more powerful werewolf stories like this one. And tell me in the comments which country or state are you from. And also let me know if you want more part of the story.